So last night after the Vikings game, I made my post-game video talking about what I saw from the team, what I liked, what I didn't like, and all that. But after making that video and after fooling around last night and going to bed, I had I had this kind of thought process go through my head, and it inspired me to do something I haven't done for a little while. I was thinking about what we've seen from this offense over the past few years, what we've seen from them in the preseason and camp. And I've been thinking about how this offense is probably going to have to carry this team now, and basically the state of this offense, because as much as we want to see this team win this year, this is also going to be an educational experience for us. So I went to the whiteboard, I wrote some stuff up this morning. Just last night, it just came to me how I want to look at this offense, how I want to evaluate players, and the most effective way to take a look at your team's roster, offensively anyway, and figure out what is going to happen that season and what you really need to look for from some of these players. So I busted out the whiteboard, and given that, the real games start in 2 weeks, and we're not going to learn a whole hell of a lot against the Raiders next week in, preseason game number 4, we're going to learn a little bit about a couple players maybe, but nothing that anybody's going to take too seriously. I wrote this up because I wanted to step back, take a look at what we have on offense and how it might parlay into this regular season. So here's your offense, and here's basically, okay, there we go. Here's how I was thinking about things last night, guys. I took all of the Seahawks offensive players that are going to contribute in any meaningful role this year, probably. The guys who you figure are actually going to play big, meaningful snaps, or at least a few meaningful snaps. And what do we really have? I separated them into 4 categories: yes, maybe, okay, and okay maybe. Those 4 categories kind of speak for themselves, I think, but this is something I'm going to be keeping in mind as the season goes along, something I'm going to be updating as people show me the kind of players that they actually are. And these are the questions that we face, kind of summed up all into one little chart. Who are the players on this offense that make you say, as a Seahawks fan, yes? We've got 2. We've got Russell Wilson, and we've got Doug Baldwin. We know these guys can play at an all-pro level. We know these guys can make the Pro Bowl year in and year out as long as they're given the opportunity to do so. We don't have any questions about those guys. Those are the guys who we can count on to win games for us, who we can count on to not screw it up, or we should be able to. If they are, then maybe we need to reevaluate. But those 2 guys are the guys that have won games for us, that have dominated games for us, that have allowed us to be a winning team for the last 6 seasons. Maybe. These are guys who it immediately occurs to you that these guys could be immediately studs in this league. These guys have a very good chance of going up to the yes category. I mean, Lockett was there. Tyler Lockett was there, and then he broke his leg, and now we need to see him become a star again, because last year he was okay. Last year he was not very explosive. He was not a big play threat like he was the year before. We need to see it again. Penny, I put him there too. I mean, how many years, how many rookie running backs, first round, second round, third round, whatever, have you seen come into the NFL and from day one just be a force to be reckoned with? Alvin Kamara last year was the #1 guy that comes to mind. But there have been guys, running backs, first round running backs, you almost expect to come in and immediately become a big time threat. Category number 3 over here, we are saying a lot of these guys are just okay. And this is something that is kind of discouraging when you consider that the offense is going to have to carry the team. Dwayne Brown, Justin Britt, DJ Fluker, they're okay guys. Britt had a really good year at center 2 years ago. We gave him all that money. Last year he was good, but let's not go crazy here. He's a decent NFL center. He's probably top 10, top 12. He's not much more than that. Brown, getting near the end of his career, he's been great. He's still pretty good. He's still effective. I'm good with Dwayne Brown until he starts to really show signs of age. DJ Fluker, he's been okay in his NFL career, and he looks okay here so far. But, let's not, again, he's not Zach Martin. He's not Larry Allen. He's not Steve Hutchinson. He's not going to win games for us with his dominance. He's going to be good enough to allow other players to play good. Chris Carson, we got to see it. We got to see it in NFL games. We got to be sure that this guy's a stud. He's a guy who can move over very easily. But right now, we've seen him in 4 regular season games. We liked what we've seen from him in the preseason. That's it. Jerron Brown. He was okay in Arizona. So far here, he looks okay. Brandon Marshall, look, last night convinced me to move him here. He's okay. He's got some skills. He can do some things that other players on this team have no chance of doing. He's big. He can make a lot of catches for you, but not a superstar anymore. He's okay. Ed Dixon came over from, I think, Baltimore and Carolina. NFL journeyman tight end who's started quite a few games. He's okay. And that's counting on him being healthy. Last category, and these are the guys who really have to come through for us. I call these guys the okay maybes, because we hope that they're going to be okay. We're not even looking at these guys thinking these are going to be superstars. These are going to be guys who carry us to victory. These are guys who are going to play a big role on the offense in 2018, and we're just hoping that they're capable. Posick, Fant, Affetti, 3 offensive linemen. I know we all like Posick. I know a lot of people in Seattle like Posick. He was bad last year, and he looks a lot better this preseason, but we got to see it, and I don't have any illusions about him being a great offensive lineman. He can be okay this year. Fant, he looked pretty good last night, but he was never great to begin with. He was never even really average, and he shredded his leg last year. I'm not exactly falling all over myself to laud him with praise. And Affetti is Affetti, guys. Every time he makes a play that isn't a complete disaster, I get all excited because the bar is so low. Vanette, what's he done in his first 2 years in Seattle? Not a lot. He's a guy who, if he doesn't play well this season, could easily be off the team next year. He's been on the team 2 years. He gets hurt a lot. He hasn't produced much when he plays. There's not a lot there. We're hoping he can be a capable, tight end who plays snaps and blocks and catches a pass or 2 a game. Disley, he's got a skill set. He's got an NFL skill set, but we're talking about a blocking tight end who's going to be a backup. Maybe he's a 3rd-string tight end. Who knows? Who knows if he's going to be okay this year. David Moore, got to show something outside of the preseason. But preseason's been pretty good. He has a chance to contribute this year. And, of course, Procise, he's had some games in his career. He had games like 2-3 years ago where he was great. He was one of the best players on the field when we beat the Patriots in Foxborough last year. And since then, he can't stay healthy. He hasn't made very many plays. He's just not necessarily the guy that we wanted him to be when we drafted him. So this is the absolute state of the 2018 Seahawks offense. We have 2 players that we're in love with. We have 2 players that can easily become players that we fall in love with after the season starts and we see a few games. Then we just got a bunch of guys who are fine. They're okay. They get their job done, but they're not guys who take you over the top. And then we got a bunch of guys who we just hope become that. So these are the questions that need to be ironed out this year. Who in these 3 quadrants of the board is going to move over here? Because we need more than just this. Doug Baldwin and Russell Wilson cannot give us the offense we need to be a winning team this year by themselves. Who's going to step up? Who's going to be the stud? So that was just something that came to me yesterday when I was thinking about this team, this offense, and what we need to see. So I'm going to go stream some World of Final Fantasy on Twitch. Come check me out after you watch this video. Who do you think is going to be the guy who steps up? Who's going to exceed their role here? Because that's what we need. We need somebody to be better than we expect. We need a few players to be better than we expect. That's how I'm feeling today. I'll see you before the fourth preseason game.